Welcome back to Smartland's Get to Know podcast. Today, I'm joined by Elder Williams.
Thank you for having me.
How are we doing today, Elder?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Elder, you are brand new here at Smartland, correct?
Brand new.
When did you start?
Less than a month ago.
Less than a month ago. So you're brand new. You're motivated. You're happy to be here. Or how's Smartland treating you so far?
It's treating me amazing. Being here, like I say, about going on 3 weeks. The experience, getting introduced to the crew has been top tier.
Awesome. Now, what is your official role here at Smartland?
So my official role here at Smartland is a leasing agent, but I also assist the property manager with some tasks as well.
Great. Are you assigned to a specific silo, or are you across the whole portfolio?
Yes, right now I'm assigned to Silo 2.
Silo 2.
Yep, in the Cleveland area.
Awesome. Is this your first venture into real estate, or do you have a background in this field?
So surprisingly, I have a extensive background in real estate. When I was 18,
let me hear about it.
Yeah, when I was 18 years old, I actually started investing in real estate. That's what kind of prompted the move to actually join Smartland. I got my portfolio now up to about 5 units in the Maple Heights area.
Nice.
And I felt in order to push further, I should probably team up and really learn and extend my knowledge if I want to get more acquisitions under my belt with a company that was doing it at an extreme level in the Cleveland, Ohio area.
That's a really good strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you started when you were 18.
Yeah.
What even got you onto that path of, okay, I'm 18 years old, now is the time to start investing?
Yeah, so it's great you asked me that question. When I was younger, my mom and dad had rental properties. Even though they were divorced in separate household, they both had their own portfolio. And just going with them to the properties, it was back during the, before '08 when anybody, if you had a pulse, you can actually buy real estate.
Yeah.
There's probably a few dogs out there that had a few properties. So they had a few properties in the Cleveland area. They'll go in, they'll do renovations, and me as a kid having to paint with them and lay floors kind of gave me like, whoa, man, I'd love to do this as I get older. But I also had a passion for the automotive industry, so that's where I kind of started.
Okay.
Basically started my career.
So first off, real estate was kind of in your bloodline.
Yeah, it was in the bloodline, and then after the '08 collapse, my family had got out of real estate, but I still had that passion for it myself to try to, when I do turn 18, to try to branch out and do it.
That's great. So, but you did mention, so did you started your career as an automobile salesman, or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I actually, it's kind of a crazy journey. So I actually started off as an automotive technician, and I worked as a technician for a while, probably about 3 to 4 years, and then transitioned into sales. And then after transitioning into sales, I was so good at sales, they actually made me a finance manager over multiple locations, and then that's when I was able to really build up the capital to be able to buy the properties.
So how long were you in that field, or are you still
No, I
working
was
there somehow?
actually in that field for about 12 years, I want to say.
Okay.
About 12 years, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So what was the main difference from moving from sales to finance manager? Because I think a lot of people are familiar with a technician role, a sales role when it comes to automotive industry, but what was your real responsibility when it came to managing?
Yeah, a lot of people have misconceptions about the finance manager. As a finance manager, your main goal is to sell products to be able to protect the vehicle.
Okay.
So the salesperson is basically selling the physical asset, and then you're actually selling the paper. So you're communicating back and forth with the banks to be able to get deals approved for the customer, going over credit reports and seeing the risk factors for the bank and figuring out which bank will actually take on that client.
So is this more of closing the deal?
Yeah, it's more of closing the deal, and you have to have like a high level of sales knowledge in order to be able to be considered in finance for mainly all dealerships, and that was with some pretty big dealerships in the Northeast Ohio region.
So you said it was more of a regional position rather than just at a singular dealership?
Well, one of the companies I was with, it was more of like a regional thing, but the the last company I was at only had 2 dealerships. It was a BMW dealership and a Land Rover dealership, so I was back and forth between those dealerships handling those
good
clients.
Brand to work for?
Yeah, very good brand to work for. So, yeah, I was back and forth between BMW and Land Rover.
Awesome. So, simultaneously, you were also building your portfolio on the side?
Yes. Simultaneously, I was building a portfolio on the side, and then on my 30th birthday is when I had a realization that if I really want to go full-time into real estate, I love the automotive industry. I'm going to have to go just full-time, put the automotive industry behind me. I had a few friends that actually branched out of the automotive industry and moved into full-time real estate. So I kind of used their guidance in order to make the decision that, hey, I'm just going to team up with a company and learn.
So throughout during, I mean, I guess since you run your own venture also, you have experience being a property manager, leasing agent, investment analyst, maintenance technician.
Yep.
So what's your favorite role, and why is it your favorite role out of all those?
Yeah, so like you said, you wear multiple hats when you're doing your own venture and actually starting off. Like I say, doing the repairs on a property, analyzing deals, figuring out what's going to cash flow, what isn't going to cash flow. But my favorite part, I believe, out is finding the deal, getting everything aligned and brought up to speed, adding it to the portfolio, getting it profitable. And then the management side, it could be a little difficult sometimes. It could be a little difficult, especially dealing with the tenants. That may be my least favorite part. I more so like the numbers. I'm not sure if it's because I haven't had an experience, managing them. Like it's only 5 units or so, but I haven't had experience in the management side of things, mainly on the looking at the numbers side of deals. But I think that may be everyone's favorite part, looking at the numbers and seeing the money come in.
It's definitely mine. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, has your investment philosophy or the way you analyze deals changed from that first unit to your 5th one? Or was it a pretty ironed out process that you've been committed to from your first purchase?
Yes, so I believe I was really lucky because everyone's like, oh, don't buy real estate, but I always heard, buy real estate and just wait, don't wait to buy real estate. So I was actually purchasing real estate in the Maple Heights area of Cleveland, Ohio, when the single-family homes, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, sometimes 2 bathrooms, was only around $50,000 to $60,000. So you could really pick up any property in that area, and it was going to cash flow because rents were over $1,000 at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now the properties have, the prices are up there now, $130,000. So you really got to analyze deals a little bit more in today's times, especially if you're going to use financing with it as well. But during that time, I don't know, my analyzation was just, it was a 1% rule, 2% rule. I'll just jump in, look at it. I'm like, this is going to cash flow. This is perfect.
Right.
Not doing really like the long-term cost of the asset as far as major things like roof repairs or anything like that.
Hot water tanks.
Yeah, hot water tanks. But I had such a buffer in a cash flow that it really didn't matter. But in today's time, you really gotta.
Right. So I mean, step 1, you bought right, you'd say.
Yeah,
okay.
I bought right.
That's great. Right. So speaking of financing, were you looking to leverage properties? Did you go in all cash? Is it consistent through your portfolio? Are you all cash on some properties and then leverage, on others? What's your philosophy there?
Yeah, so my properties are leveraged right now. I really do. I have a very, very low amount of financing on them since I had bought them so long ago, and the property was only $50K. So you're financing $30K or so, $40K. So it wasn't bad at all, to have, $150,000 asset, you only owe $30K on it.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
So it wasn't. It's not bad at all. I did have one that was cash, but I ended up selling that one because I didn't really like the community that was in. It was what you consider a D community war zone type area. Mm-hmm. So I ended up selling that one and then just primarily focused in the C plus neighborhood.
So what are the main differences as a property manager? Because in a lot of people's eyes, D and C plus aren't that far apart, but once you're really down into the nitty gritty of it, you really see the difference. So what was the biggest stick out to you?
I should say the tenant's reaction to when you tell them they're late on rent is a little bit different. The type of clientele you get that's looking in certain areas is highly different. And you're doing applications, and you even see it inside the application process. Depending on where you have that home purchased at is a different type of application you'll get. So I knew right off, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to sell this one because it's just not the right tenant that I can sustain. A lot of people thrive in that market of having that type of tenant.
Right, it's certainly a niche market.
Yeah, but that was something I wasn't going to be able to do, especially starting off as a new investor. I had to have something that was more solid coming in, and I had to have long-term tenants because turnover would kill me basically starting off.
Mm-hmm. And so with this, these are all single-family home games or single-family home investments, correct?
That's correct.
So do you have some sort of strategy to keep certain cash flow in reserve for repairs and things going forward?
Yes.
That you may face, such as roofs and the hot water tanks or siding problems. And
yes, so I had them all the income going into a business bank account, and then from there, that's when I was actually branching the money off and dividing it up, some into operations account, some into savings account every single month, just for when something did come up, I'll be able to afford it and actually get it done, because you can't tell a tenant I can't afford a hot water tank for you right now. You got to wait a couple of weeks.
Right. So with your role at Smartland, you're predominantly a multifamily, not operator, but multifamily manager, correct?
That's correct.
Correct. Have you found any very clear difference between management and leasing within multifamily compared to the single family game?
I have. You get more turnover with multifamily, so you constantly have to be on the hunt to be able to get new tenants in. You really have to pay closer attention to the market to make sure market rents are where they should be, because you can have competition in the area with other apartment complexes, so they're also comparing you to that. It just felt it's a little bit easier with single family, it felt to me, because the tenant kind of feel like it's their home or so
right,
it's
maybe a longer term tenant.
Longer term tenant that you have inside of the property. So with dealing with multifamily, you can probably expect a little bit more turnover, so you have to account for that as well.
Nice. So when it comes to your leasing process and stuff, are there systems and databases you use for multifamily here to set meetings, schedules, or showings, things like that?
For with Smartland, is a certain process? No. So when I have a lead come in, I just treat it like sales business, like always. So I have a lead come in. I set the appointment. I don't worry about doing too much qualifying over the phone. The goal is I want to get them into the property first, and then go from there. So the first sell is to actually get them in, let them view it, and they're automatically going to love it because Smartland does amazing renovations on their properties. So it's basically an easy sell from there. The first sell is get them there, make sure they love the property. The next sell, get them to do the application. And then from there, that's when we go to the approval process. So that's kind of the steps I've been taking to.
So do you think it is worth the time investment of skipping, not necessarily skipping the approval process, but getting them in the unit and getting them interested in the property before approval?
Yeah, before approval, because I just try to sell the excitement on possibly moving into the unit, so I don't do too much qualifying over the phone. I kind of let them fill out the application, get the application in first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. And while working in leasing, you found that to be a worthy time investment, even if it doesn't work out for some.
Yeah, even if it doesn't work out for some, it's going to be a few that was on a borderline of getting approved. But if you would have gave them a doubt inside their head over the phone, you would have never got that application. And I kind of learned that from the automotive industry, is get an application from everybody. Even if they tell you I don't think I'm gonna get approved. You never know.
Let's check at least. Least. So, have you ever been ghosted on a showing, or have you pretty much had 100% hit rate? What's it like there?
It's actually been really, really good compared to the automotive industry when you're trying to set appointments. When I was in sales in that industry, now it just seemed like people want homes, so they're actually showing up. And then as long as you consistently follow up before the appointment, so that morning, early in the morning time, I reach out to everybody, confirm the times, and then an hour before they even show, I call them like, hey, are we still good for this time? They may, get irritated, like, man, he's really making sure I'm going to show up to this appointment. But that's how you have to be to make sure your schedule aligns with every single client.
Absolutely. I think that's a great lesson for everybody at home to learn. So, I mean, outside of real estate and outside of owning your own venture, what keeps you going? What are some of the hobbies that you like enjoying, or do you have any, or is most of your time outside of the office dedicated to your company?
So most of the time is dedicated to business, but then I do have time for family. I have two boys that I like to try to attend their events. We stay right in Solon, so it's a really great community.
Yeah,
great community. So I always try to go to like their choirs or dances and different things like that. So
nice.
And also sporting events. And then in private time, when I have it by myself, I have a YouTube channel that I actually like to post videos to, do reactions to, but mainly financial content reactions to, like financial and real estate content.
Great, let's plug that. What's your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's just Elder Tony Williams.
Elder Tony Williams. And what if I'm just browsing YouTube? What value will I gain from your channel?
Yeah, so I dive. My thing is give as much value as you can, and it actually come back to you. So everything that I've actually learned in real estate with like qualifying tenants, owning your personal portfolio, all of that is on my YouTube channel. Just because you put the information out there, somebody's gonna pick up from it.
You seem really motivated, and I think your actions have shown that. What drives you? What keeps you motivated?
I could probably just say my kids. As long as I can have something to pass down. If I can spend my whole life basically working, and then at the end of the day, when I'm old, and then pass down my kids a decent sized portfolio, and they've seen me struggle to actually make that portfolio, they won't go blow it. And I think that's kind of what motivates me.
Financial freedom definitely makes it easier to sleep at night.
Yes, it
that's
does.
For sure.
It does.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again on this podcast. I look forward to recording another episode and hearing more. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in to Smartland's Get to Know podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all things Smartland.